midnight run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Yes. Let me go ahead and get my coffee. Folks, it's midnight. 12:01 to be exact. And the Cavaliers won. In fact, I'm just going to say this. We promise on this show, this is Midnight Run. I'm Anthony Alford. It's great to have you with us on the Inside Edge Network, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Hello to my TikTok audience. Here with you until 1. When we promoted this show, I promised an unhinged hour of sports talk. Unhinged. I mean, midnight is when you get deep into the feels, deep into your thoughts, deep into, like, what the heck is going on? And I just want to say, based on that premise, the Cavaliers ruined the show. They ruined the show. They ruined the show. They won. They didn't choke away a lead in the fourth quarter. Everybody performed. Everybody showed up. They won. And they ruined this show. So the show's over. I'm kidding. No, great to be here. My producer's Eli Moon. You'll hear from him from time to time within this next hour. I do want to bring up a point that Eli and Chad Bryant of Inside Edge Primetime brought up earlier on their show in just a bit. But a must-needed win for the Cavaliers. They win. You see the score there, 109-94. The final against the New York Knicks. In a game that they simply had to have. I get it. It is the regular season in the grand scheme of things. What can change going into the playoffs? But you needed to prove to yourself, and you needed to prove to a national audience that you could beat legitimate contenders. Now, was this game perfect? Not even close. It wasn't perfect. The Cavaliers still have a Mitchell Robinson problem. The Cavaliers still have a big guy problem when they face off against bigger dudes. So that's still there. But in terms of going out and being legitimate, consistent scoring threats that we talked about last night with Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Sam Merrill and others, and, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley picking his spots as well. That's what you needed this W. There's no question about it. You needed this win. And the Knicks, I'll tell you what, the Knicks, I was just talking with Eli about this before the show. They are so inconsistent. They're getting a full Mike Brown experience. They're finding out the harsh lessons of inconsistent rotations. I was shocked to hear Jordan Clarkson, who routinely was putting up double figures prior to the All-Star break. He got his first minutes tonight, post-All-Star break. So that was actually pretty surprising to me. But overall, for the Cavaliers, Dean Wade coming through. Well, he had 22 points. Donovan Mitchell, 21. Dean Wade had 11. I'm looking at the plus-minus. Dean Wade, 22 plus-minus his end. But Jared Allen, 19. Donovan Mitchell, 23. James Harden, 20 points tonight. And just balanced scoring across the board. Evan Mobley, we talked about he needed to step up today. I'm not saying he had a night and day performance, Evan Mobley, but 12 points, picking his spots. I thought Eli was spot on prime time when we mentioned, like, Evan Mobley's just going to have to find his spot and make things work. And he did that. So for a Cavaliers team who got bullied around against OKC, they needed this victory here tonight against the Knicks. They needed to show, hey, you could beat an Eastern Conference contender. You could beat some of the top teams, even if the size is not there. And this is where, and I thought, as I'm preparing for this show, and we got other stuff we're going to talk about as well. But I do cheat. I watch other shows here on the Inside Edge Network, and when other hosts on our network, when they make great points, I'm like, holy smokes, let me write that down and attack it. I thought on Inside Edge Prime Time earlier tonight, Chad Bryant brought up a great question, and him and Eli kind of tackled it. And I want to address it myself. Chad asked today, are the Cavaliers a half-court team, or should they be a half-court team, or should they be a running team? And I have a definitive answer for that. I'm not saying the Cavaliers should be running gun, insert 2005 Phoenix Suns. Okay, I'm not saying that. Like sprint until the legs fall off. I'm not saying that at all. But remember what we talked about yesterday. And we talked about how Jarrett Allen needed to be involved in this offense and how you get Jarrett Allen, who had 19 points today, how you get him involved in this offense. And that's getting the ball to him before other defenders in the paint can get set. And I think for that reason, and the fact that James Harden is elite when it comes to floor vision, he's going to be able to get you the basketball no matter what. He's going to find a way to get you the ball. So I think for that reason, Cavaliers, I'm not saying you got to do a full Olympic sprint, but I don't think half court is in their best interest, especially come playoff time. You cannot allow teams like Boston, in Detroit, in New York to get their bigger guys, to get guys set up and allow them to set up their defenses. I think you got to attack up front. I think the Cavaliers' best course of action is ensuring that the ball makes it somehow to the paint within the first 5 to 10 seconds of the shot clock. Even if, now that's not to say, oh, James Harden, lob it to Jarrett Allen put the ball in the basket, or Donovan Mitchell, lob it to Evan Mobley, put the ball in the paint, put it in the basket. That could also mean get the ball into the paint, and if there are open guys in the perimeter, feed it out, right? Inside-out game. That's a part of it too. You could do that, and that's not an issue. That's not a problem. But it is imperative for this Cavs team who, let's face it, against bigger team, obviously against bigger competition in the Eastern Conference, and should they go far enough, the NBA Finals, they're going to be undersized in the paint. They're going to be undersized. Take full advantage of your quickness and your speed. So I think from the standpoint of the Cavaliers, I think it is imperative for them. Should they be half court? Should they be a running team? I think you lean run. I think you lean to the fact that you do have, I know James Harden is a little bit older, but his floor vision, his ability to get the ball out quick, you can utilize the other young legs that you have on this team and not allow the defenses to fully get set, fully get involved into their rotations and operate and go. And at that point, you're going to get other teams off balance and off centered. I think that's what happened tonight a little bit with the Knicks. The New York Knicks, the Knicks, I should say, Mr. Charles Barkley, they got off balanced. And the Cavaliers attacked quick with their offense. And that's where you're seeing the difference with having James Harden here versus Darius Garland. When Darius Garland was here, as we mentioned, his game is more ISO. His game is more set the offense up. I'm looking for options, but it's going to take me 15 seconds to find an option. And it's going to be a little radical. There is a purpose to this offense with James Harden in uniform. Obviously, with Donovan Mitchell as well. And the fact now you have the necessary size in the backfield to make things happen. So overall, great win for the Cavaliers. I wanted to address that because I do think the Cavaliers have to – listen, let's just be real about this. they're never going to win a conversation in terms of, oh, are they tougher than the other team in terms of X's and O's size? It's just not going to happen. Now, mentality, we could talk about that. We could definitely talk about mentality and being mentally tough in those moments. That part is very important. We could talk about those things. But, I kind of forgot about this. Chris Fedor, he mentioned in his recap on Cleveland.com, he talked about the Christmas Day game when the Cavaliers, blew a huge fourth quarter lead. On Christmas Day, that happened. Yeah, it was a 17-point lead. Cavaliers blew in the fourth quarter. Some of y'all watched that on Disney Channel. That was when they did the Mickey Mouse Disney altcast. Seems like everybody these days do an altcast for no reason whatsoever. I will admit, though, the Pat McAfee altcast is actually pretty good because Pat McAfee, low key, is actually a pretty good play-by-play announcer. If you go back and watch Ohio State's run to the national championship last year, when he's able to say, ass beating at the Rose Bowl. You think they're going to allow Pat McAfee to curse at the Super Bowl? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the case. But back to the Cavs. This was the team that blew a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter. They didn't show the mental toughness. This was the team that got punked in 2023 against this Knicks team. They got punked against the Knicks. You need people. I get it. James Harden doesn't have the greatest playoff record. I get that. But you need people that's going to maintain their poise. And I think that's huge. They got Milwaukee tomorrow. Milwaukee, that's going to be a tough matchup. It's a back-to-back. Can I consider tomorrow's game a scheduled loss? I shouldn't do that. That's not. You shouldn't do that because again, you're talking tanking. We're not talking tanking. We're not doing any of that. But that could be a little bit tricky. Eli, what's the so what? They got Milwaukee tomorrow, and then when do the Cavs have Detroit?
Yeah, so we're looking here at the Cavs schedule coming up here, AA. So let me take a look. We have the Bucks, Bucks, and then Friday, February 27th, we're in Detroit. Then we are in Brooklyn. Then Tuesday, we're at home against Detroit. So 2 games against Detroit between Friday and Tuesday, a home and away matchup there. So going to be interesting.
Ooh. Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
2 of those Detroit games, just right there. Measuring stick games. I got a feeling we'll have some comments on Sunday when we do main event about the first Detroit matchup. I know it's going to be a couple days, removed. But that's going to be crazy. What did you think? Eli, you and Chad hit on that question earlier about whether or not the Cavs should be a half-court team or a running team. Like, what should their style of offense be? And I believe that they should utilize their quickness. And because of the fact that you have undersized big men, that the quicker you can get the ball to them in the paint, the more successful you could be offensively.
Yeah, I think James Harden and Donovan Mitchell can turn it on at any point, and they're able to score at any point. I think Jared Allen, it's so imperative that they get the ball to him early and often and allow him to get involved with the offense. I said it on prime time, and I just think it's so imperative that he gets involved, AA. Evan Mobley's going to pick and choose his slots and his spots to knock down his shots, but at the end of the day, I think Jared Allen is clearly needed to be the third option on this team, and I think the Cavaliers have a bright future heading into the postseason if they can get this type of Jared Allen effort. The other night we were talking 11 and 13. It was okay. It's efficient, but he gets a few more shots up tonight. Now we have 19 points. It's close to that 20-point threshold that we need to see out of Jared Allen. So,
remember too, Max Strus, he's on his way back as well. So you got another wrinkle with this offense to try to figure out what the roles are going to be. Eli, that's going to be tough for Kenny Atkinson to kind of figure out. But I have trust in Donovan Mitchell and James Harden to figure it out, and of course the coaching staff.
Yeah. I think Kenny Atkinson. This is why a lot of people raved about him, is his ability to be able to weave in the different moving pieces. And, the Cavs have had quite a lot of them here between injury and the Harden trade and the DeAndre Hunter trade. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how getting Max Strus back into the lineup, how that's going to help the Cavaliers out. I think it'll open up obviously another 3-point opportunity. And I think with the Cavs having Jared Allen establishing in the paint, it's going to open up for Merrill, for Strus, for Jalen Tyson, for guys to knock down these threes. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, Max Strus coming back is, I think, one of the big things that the Cavs, they always talk about how can a team get better after the deadline without, making a trade. And I think Max Strus is one of those moves for the Cavaliers AA.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. And we'll kind of see how that plays out. All right, on to the Browns. Obviously, the Cavaliers handling business, back on that swag. Having fun again. It's great to see them having fun. And the stretch here, Milwaukee tomorrow night's a trap game. Again, Detroit, Brooklyn. And then Detroit, once you get past Detroit, I believe once you get past that second Detroit game, I saw this, I believe the only team the Cavaliers face that have a 600 or better win percentage, it's the Lakers at the end of the month, at the end of March. So I think having these games now, you need opportunities to show, measuring stick games to show where you're at. All right, on to the Browns. Scouting combine in Indianapolis this week. Andrew Berry talked with the media. We talked about this yesterday. Todd Monken, it doesn't seem like to me that they have no clue where this quarterback battle is going to go. The fact that it is a QB battle, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said before, I am very, very high on Shedeur Sanders. I just am. I think Shedeur Sanders has the arm strength. I think he does have the natural abilities to succeed. He could make big plays. We don't have talent around him. I mean, he's going to throw some picks. And, yes, he needs to speed up his operation. But, again, remember the offense that he competed in Dylan Gabriel. That Kevin Stefanski offense is not player-friendly. And the folks in Atlanta are going to find out the hard way within the next couple of seasons that Kevin Stefanski's offense is not player-friendly. It just isn't. People are like, oh, well, Kevin Stefanski didn't get a fair stake. Kevin Stefanski had 12 quarterbacks to use. 12 here in Cleveland. He's a quarterback guy. He couldn't figure it out. Find that to be a little bit interesting. All right, let me start with Andrew Berry. This is Andrew Berry talked with the media along with seemingly everybody else. I think we'll hear from Todd Monken with this, at the Combine tomorrow. But here's Andrew Berry talking about what Shedeur Sanders needs to do this offseason. Take a look.
I think the biggest thing that we want to see from Shedeur is just continued growth. I think he grew a lot from start 1 to start 7. I think certainly, playing more efficiency, playing more efficiently, not putting the ball in harm's way as much, would be important. While maintaining the ability to produce out of structure and generate explosive plays. You're not going to see all of that in the upcoming months because we're not on the field. So the biggest thing that he can do is learn the new offense, get in with the coaching staff once our offseason program starts, continue to work on his body physically, and then make strides when we actually get on the grass.
Right now, the way it looks at this moment, and again, courtesy of the Cleveland Browns, the way it looks at this moment, Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson will be competing for the starting job with the Cleveland Browns, unless they bring somebody else in. Yesterday, we had an extensive conversation about Malik Willis. I mentioned how if he's brought in, you're basically, I'm going to double down on this point. If you bring in Malik Willis, you got to move on from both Deshaun and Shedeur. You can't have Deshaun here because you're not going to have two people represented by the same agent competing for one starting quarterback job. So if that happens, Deshaun, you're pushing him to the side again, which I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about that, but that's just what it is. And then Shedeur, you're going to have to trade him because that's a lot of noise from the backup position. Not him personally, but just overall, just noise there in general. But with Andrew Berry, we talked about it. We'll play a little bit of Top Monk sound on the other side of the break because it is open season for the Cleveland Browns. Very much open season to try to figure out the understanding that both of these guys and everybody, unless you work for the Seattle Seahawks, is on the hot seat. It is a win now or else, knowing that in 2027, Arch Manning, Dante Moore, several others will be there in the draft class. You're going to have more talented free agents available as well. So I think that's huge. I think that's going to be huge. Todd Monken, from what we've heard, not really too confident in either quarterback, any of the quarterbacks that's in the room right now. We'll play that sound for you a little bit when we come back. All right. When we do come back as well, the UFL, they have new rules for the 2026 football season, but there's one rule that I think at some point is going to happen. Some coach is going to do it. It's going to happen. And I'm here to say, let's just spring forward and just go all in on that particular rule change. I do want to hit on that in a little bit. We have a special Dear Diary coming up later in the show as well. And if you notice the title of this show, Midnight Run, you notice a hashtag in there that may be a little out of place. It's hashtag video games. And the reason why is because there might be something that's going down that might be at the end of the road. We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. Remember, BA Sweeties is the place you need to be in this Easter season as we get ready for the spring. I know there's snow still on the ground, but I see some grass. I see a little bit there. If you're here in the Cleveland area, go to BA Sweeties. That is on Interstate 480, the Ridge Road exit. Make a left on Brook Park Road, and you'll see the giant lollipop go in. And when you walk in, you smell it. You smell this place. This place is amazing. The largest candy store in North America, BA Sweeties. Tell them Double A sent you. Tell them, Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast. We have that partnership going. Their season, our season, WrestleMania season, got all that going. And when you order in store, whether it's the candy, the popcorns are great. Whether it's the classic pops or the traditional pops, the traditional candies, all that stuff. When you go to check out, mention the word lollipop, and you'll get a special discount on your order. That's BA Sweeties. Tell them that Double A sent you. BA Sweeties, the place to be again. Interstate 40, the Ridge Road exit. Make a left up Brook Park Road, and you'll see it right there, BA Sweeties. All right, we'll take a quick break, come back. We got more Midnight Run. We're off and running. We're going to get going here. Anthony Alford, Eli Moon's here with you as well. We're back in just a moment.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford. This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Speaking of running, I always see videos. So I go to the gym. I usually go 3, 4, on a good week, 5 times a week. On a good week. Because my schedule's busy, it just doesn't happen. But usually I try to go at least 3 or 4 times. I go for mental health reasons. But hopefully, physically, things are improving on my end. I've been doing this consistently now for 2 years. You want to know the issue? The issue is not necessarily the working out and stuff. It's let me tilt the camera over there. It's that room. This room right here is the make or break of your workout journey. It's the kitchen. So things are great, but if you are eating cookies and smashing and stuff like that, and I'm guilty of it, then it's almost like all the work that you've done, none of it matters. None of it matters. But I seen something which was nuts. There was a video of, this is the right way for a guy to approach a woman at the gym. And I got to put Eli, come on the screen here for a second, because I guess this is a lesson here. When it comes to approaching a woman at the gym, that is a no-no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. They need to approach us first. That is a no-no.
Oh, I don't know. I just don't think the gym. I don't know. I get down to the gym. I work out pretty. I haven't not worked out in a while. But when I do work out, I get down. So I don't know if the gym's where I'm making the moves. Double A.
No.
I could.
So let me tell you what happened today.
Yeah, go
Let me
ahead.
tell you what happened today. And if there's any indication from today's show, I sweat. I just do. I watch other people work harder than me, but I'm the one that's a dripping mess. I do 15 minutes on the treadmill, but I'm going at it.
Yeah.
And then I do every Tuesday afterwards, I'll do lunges, but I'll do 30-pound lunges.
Okay.
And I'm just melting. I'm just, this is just nasty. It's just, I got sweat on my shirt and stuff. This is all bad. And I got a few intriguing looks. And I'm like, on this day, I'm getting looks. I'm like, there are other days I'll try. And I'm like, no, on this day, I'm getting looks. I'm like, come on. Come on.
Yeah,
but even then, you can't do it. Nope.
Yep.
Can't do it.
Yep. No.
Because I think you said it right, too. If you're wearing I have AirPods. I mean, and look, listen, this is 2026. Nobody talks to each other anymore anyway.
Yep. Gotta get their numbers so you can text them.
Well, but again, though, so, all right, are you going to walk up to somebody and, and you spit your whole line out and they have their AirPods in or their headphones in, and then you got to start over?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Can't do that.
You can't do that. This is not the club where those actions are expected, where the man is supposed to approach a woman. This ain't the club. You cannot do that at a gym. People are trying to work out. You're trying to work out. And so the video that I saw, Eli, it was a guy, it was like a 5-step plan of a guy trying to get a girl's number from the gym. Okay. And it was step 1, you get the classic head nod of acknowledgement. And then step 2, you say hello. And then there's other steps. And then you finally work out next to the girl at the treadmill or something like that. And then you finally build up the courage. Now, mind you, in this video, You're probably a month in, maybe 2 months in. You finally build up the courage. Oh, yeah. I've been feeling the vibes. I'm feeling it. Can I get your number? And the girl hits you. Actually, I'm married.
Oh. That's tough. That's tough.
Never once. Where and in most cases, you're probably not wearing your wedding ring because rings. I mean, it's hard to lift with a ring on. So you're not gonna see a wedding engagement ring.
You got to catch some hints, though. You got to catch some hints.
Sometimes it doesn't happen. And here's the other thing. All right, okay, you say catching hints. All right, there's a video that I showed you guys. I've been meaning to put it. I didn't even put it in the system. We'll play it tomorrow.
All right.
I told you guys. Oh, our main event. We played it. We played it on main event. The end of the show. What did you learn? Of how couples meet.
Yeah.
Right. The leader, not even close, was online. Right.
Yeah.
In 2024, that's what the study went up to. Over 60% of couples now have met through online.
Well, think about it. Yeah, I mean, all the dating apps and even Facebook and all that's got dating options and, texting. I mean, if they consider online like texting and all that too, I mean, people get, here's my, so-and-so, my buddy's number or whatever. I mean, I don't know, Double A. It's a crazy game out here nowadays. 2026, the dating world is dangerous, bro.
Well, it's dangerous, and because of the fact that people don't know, for the most part, how to talk to each other. And I'm not saying that I'm a saint in this either. Like, I have a work from home job, so like I have to force myself to leave. Like, cabin fever is real, so like I gotta force myself to leave the home to do stuff. And then the dating apps are interesting because here's the thing. The dating apps, things almost have to be perfect. Finally, right? And then even when it's perfect, it's still wrong. Because again, people don't talk to each other. It's like a resume thing. I kind of relate, in a way, it does relate to sports because you do want that perfect team, right?
Yeah.
We talk about with the Cavs, like you want that perfect team. Like, the Cavs have a really, really great team, but they're undersized in the paint, even though for all the criticisms Evan Mobley we have given him offensively, defensively, he's been a stud.
Yeah.
It's just those things you just don't even recognize. And it's great. But my last point, and then we'll get back to serious sports talk here. My last point, and this is right? What benefit does a guy have asking a girl out at the gym? Like, there's none.
There is none.
There's none.
There is none. There's none. There's so many other places you could find somebody at. I mean, if that's the only place you're finding them at, then at least clean up, get showered up, and if you haven't run into them at the same time when they're done, maybe get their number, exchange, meet up with them after. But bro, you're sweaty, they're sweaty. I mean, it's just.
And they're listening to music. You're listening to music. I mean, every gym is located in some kind of a strip mall. Like, you can go, there's a coffee shop probably next door. The worst thing about the gym is great. It is fantastic. Honestly, it's kind of saved my life a little bit. But the worst thing about the gym, the biggest challenge, I should say, is when you leave the gym and you smell Chipotle or you smell wings.
Yeah, that's true.
You smell the fast food in the air. But yeah, it's a high risk thing because if it doesn't work out, you got rejected in front of everybody. Yeah. So you can't do that. You probably can't go back to that gym at all. The woman's probably not going back to that gym. So it's just a mess. People want to be wanted. And people want to be loved and shown full appreciation. Tom Munkin doesn't do that, right? Let's play the clip that we have from yesterday, again from Channel 19, Ashley Holder, talking talking about the QB room, and I thought his tone here was very, very interesting about Todd Monken. This is from a couple weeks ago after his introductory press conference. Here's Todd Monken on the QB room.
We saw a fun interaction between you and Shedeur Sanders last week, and we got a little bit of a sample size of Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel. What excites you most of working with those two young quarterbacks as well as the rest of the quarterbacks room?
Well, I think you've got two young players that still have a long way to go in terms of development, and that's part of the learning curve in the NFL. And then you've got a player like Deshaun who's coming back from injury and at one time was a Pro Bowl player and an elite player in this league. That we would love to tap back into that, let alone with Dylan and Shedeur. I mean, I'm excited. I'm ready to get going.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to get going. Yeah, so obviously every option is open. You're going to have another QB battle. All I ask is for the QB battle, whoever it may be, to be a focused QB battle. I don't want an America's Next Top Model competition to be the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Although at this rate, hell, why the hell not? Identify who your starters could be. And it can only be two people going into camp. It can't be a 5-person race. It can only be two people. Figure it out. And unfortunately, for a lot of fans, I know you don't want Deshaun Watson to be part of that process. Pay too much money. He has to be. He has to be. It's like paying for a Mercedes that was beat up. It had a loaded Carfax history, and you still bought it for a lot of money, and you got gypped by the sales rep. You still want to ride that Mercedes. Still want to drive it. Still got to make it work. Still got to make it happen. All right, briefly, I want to talk about the UFL rules, and then I want to talk a little bit about what rule I would put in. So the United Football League, they put in different rules. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the ones that matter, the headlining rules for the 2026 season with the evolution of football, right? So here's 3 of the key ones. Number 1, the tush push ban. That's cool with me. I think the issue with the tush push, officials don't know how to officiate it. And the Philadelphia Eagles have taken full advantage of that for years. Officials don't know, because if you go by the assumption that there's a penalty on every play, which, to be perfectly honest, every play somebody's holding, every play somebody is doing something that's against the rules. But you're, as a referee, you're kind of encouraged to, as long as it's not obvious, you're probably letting that go. Otherwise, an NFL football game would last 5 hours calling holds on every single play. But the tush push was one of those things that, number 1, was not entertaining to watch. The tush push is not even entertaining to watch. And number 2, it's terrible to officiate. It's almost impossible to officiate. So I like the UFL's doing, just get rid of it. Just call it a day, done. Tush push ban. The second one, no punting past the opponent's 50-yard line. I believe the exception is under 2 minutes of halves or the fourth quarter. But no punting past the 50. More on that in a moment. And then the third one, 60-yard plus field goals is now worth 4 points in the UFL. And I found this to be interesting here. Fox Sports, who broadcasts the UFL, I think they own it too. They said here in their article announcing these rule changes, Dean Blandino, he's one of the guys who runs the league. You know him from all the officiating reviews and stuff like that. And he said here, NFL kickers converted 57% of all field goal attempts over 60 yards last season. That is a crazy, crazy stat. Crazy stat. So, yeah, make it 4 points. I think that's perfectly fine. But here's what I would do. And the third one, again, no punting past the 50. The UFL has a few other rules that they announced too. The 1 point, 2 point, 3 point conversions. Remember last year they got rid of the extra, the free kick extra point. I think they're bringing that back this year. So yeah, check it out. Fox Sports, they did the whole article on it. It's actually pretty interesting when you think about it, what they're doing. I think a couple of the tush push, hopefully, I am begging, ban it in the NFL. Get rid of it. The field goal thing, that's going to be along the lines of like the NBA. Will we see a 4 point line in the NBA one of these days? Like the half point line. Could we see something of sorts that way? But here is what I'm proposing, because I think it's going to happen. Give it about 5 years. There will be a coach in the NFL or college that will never kick a field goal, never punts, and, well, they have to kick off because of the rules. You have to announce if you're going for an onside kick. I am waiting for a coach to show up and say, we are never kicking a field goal. We are never kicking an extra point. We are always going for 2. And we're never punting. And I guarantee you that's going to be a playoff head coach. I guarantee you it's going to be a playoff head coach that's going to do it. So my rule, if I was running the UFL, hate to say this, kickers, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Special teams, bye-bye. If we're not going to do, I know it's safety and stuff like that. So if we're really prioritizing safety, we're doing away with all phases of special teams. All phases of special teams, done. That's it. That's it. So I would do something of that sort. Because what we have done, and yes, you may say, man, that's ridiculous. But all these different rule changes and stuff, like I watch high school football every single week during the season, and they still, for the most part, play with classic rules that have been just fine with football, but we've thrown so many different rules. We throw one rule in to try to correct another rule, to try to correct this rule, to try to correct that rule, and they all suck. All of them, they all suck. I mean, we're trying to figure out how to increase offense, and so DBs can't play the defensive back position because if they touch the receiver, if they flirt with a receiver, then all of a sudden they're called for a penalty. If they cough on a receiver, they're called for a penalty. The rules are freaking stupid. It's stupid. All the overcorrecting of rules is stupid. So screw it. Get rid of kickers. Get rid of all kickers. Get rid of special teams. Just go for it on 4th and 30. Why the hell not? Just go for it. You can't convert 4th and 30, right? The hell with it. I just find that to be very interesting. AllieRoseFragrances.com. That's where you need to get your candles, your body mist, if you have a significant other. If you are so lucky to be one of the few ones to actually meet somebody at the gym, gift them with body mist because they probably want some after a great workout and recovery and whatnot. Allie Rose Fragrances, my friend, my buddy, my coworker Allison, she started this company a year ago, and it has taken off. In fact, I have to order my new candle. But the burn times, if compared to the competition, the burn times, forget about it. Much longer burn times. They're healthier too. Vegan made products. These products are not. It's not toxic or anything of sort. So you definitely gotta check out AlleyRoseFragrances.com. That's our Inside Edge Network sponsor. By the way, I saw Chad post something on TikTok. Is one of the most romantic candle commercials I have ever seen. And it's promoted the Alley Rose fragrances. He did a great job with that, but you got to get it. You got to get it. Different flavors, very affordable. And here's the kicker. If you're a first-time customer, go to AlleyRoseFragrances.com, type in the promo code InsideEdge20, and you get 20% off your order. Bulk that. Candles, body mist, all that stuff. All healthy stuff. You're going to love it. I promise you, you're going to love it. All right. We got one final segment to go. I don't know why. This is an unhinged hour. It's midnight. Yeah, these rule changes suck. They just do. But yeah, AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Check them out. Promo code InsideEdge20. We got one more segment to go. We got a special Dear Diary where we say it's not all in the family. And also news about the Xbox. Back in a moment. Back after this on the Inside Edge Network.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
And we're back. Final segment of the show. Here with you until 1 o'clock here on Midnight Run. We're back with you tomorrow. Again, we're with you Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights here at midnight. Midnight Run. I'm also on the main event with Eli Moon and Rob Rizicki on Sunday nights. And also the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast will be on myself and Kyle Cornell. Will be on Friday morning to preview the Elimination Chamber. Also, AJ Styles said WrestleMania has lost its luster. Well, we got a lot of things to talk about on the wrestling side of things as well. And I'm also the program director of the Inside Edge Network. So a lot of great talent, a lot of network talent that you can see on the Inside Edge, on the Inside Edge Network. Come on, you could talk on the Inside Edge Network. A great nightly lineup. Of course, Inside Edge Prime Time with Eli Moon and Chad Bryant on Monday through Thursdays at 10, and then I'm on at midnight. So, just keep it right here on the Inside Edge Network. Also, tomorrow, it is Wednesday, which means that our programming night actually begins at 7:30 with Jersey Chasers with Autumn and Christy. They'll have the latest on all the local sports going on. Also pop culture and a ton of other cool things that's happening in the world of sports and entertainment. if you missed their show last week, they were all over America's Next Top Model and that whole Netflix documentary. But which, by the way, real quick sidebar, don't tell me after watching that Netflix special you don't want to see Cycle 25. You do. You like the amount of influencers that are on these social platforms that will just go in just to have a show, that just to show out. Yeah, we are savages. We milk stuff like this. Are you kidding me? We milk this stuff. Dear Diary coming up in just a moment. Let me get to a comment here from earlier in the show from Reed Dion. He said the Cavs need to trade Evan Mobley. He ain't it. Well, unfortunately, the trade deadline has passed, so that's not the case. But Evan Mobley is still on the clock. Evan Mobley, we talked about him a little bit earlier in the show. We talked about him extensively yesterday. He didn't have a bad game today, Evan Mobley, but yes, he does need to continue to step up. 12 points, 4 of 7 shooting today. So, 7 shot attempts for Evan Mobley. I will admit, watching today's game, there were times that I forgot he was on the floor. So there is that. But I said before, I think the pecking order has been established in terms of scoring, in whatever order you could think of. But there is a pecking order. Get James Harden involved, Donovan Mitchell, and Jared Allen. Those 3. That's the pecking order. You can have a debate. You can flip-flop 1 and 2. You can flip-flop James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, James Harden. You can flip-flop that. That depends on the matchup. But that's your pecking order. Mitchell, Harden, Jared Allen. Those 3 get going, everything else will fall into place. And Evan Mobley has other ways where he can impact the game. Now, to Dion's point, if you are looking for Evan Mobley to become the next Giannis, it's probably not going to happen. But can Evan Mobley still be a high-level player for your team? Absolutely. Eli, do you agree with this comment here that you just put up?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough to tell. The Cavs are in a tough spot because they want Evan Mobley to obviously be that level, that Giannis level, that top all-star level forward, and they also trying to win a championship in the post-LeBron era. And they unfortunately can't have both, and I think they just got to roll with the hot hand. I don't think Evan Mobley necessarily is done growing and developing as a player, but as far as what the Cavs want, it may not map out the same timeline. He may eventually be going somewhere else. Not this year, obviously, trade deadline's passed, but he may go somewhere else where he can flourish and have a little bit more time to grow. I mean, but he also is getting a little bit older, so you're only going to get one more opportunity to really do something like that.
Yeah, you do. Definitely get one more chance to do it. All right, it's time for Dear Diary. It is time. And this edition of Dear Diary is to Tony Clark. And we got some sound we're going to play here in a second here too. All right, here we go. Dear Diary. Mr. Tony Clark, you didn't have to lose your job. You didn't have to step down. I know that the in-law was on payroll, and that's the problem. That's the problem. But you can't be having relations with the in-law. It's just, Mr. Clark, it's not cool to keep it all in the family. It just isn't. But Tony Clark, you're not the only one who needs to understand that. In fact, earlier today, I found this clip from Family Feud. And there are other people out there who likes to keep it in the family if they had it their way.
Name someone you're embarrassed to admit you have a crush on.
Older men.
is here.
Oh, look at that.
Older men.
My sister-in-law. Well, I got to keep it in the family.
Ed, oh Lord.
No. So, Mr. Clark, don't keep it in the family. Don't do it. Leave the in-laws alone. And if you're out there, you watching out there in social media land, you in TikTok land, if you're thinking about your in-laws, stop it. Stop it. You can't do it. It's wrong. It's better off to be rejected at the gym than mess with the in-law. It's wrong. Can't do it. He was that dude was like that. Yeah. Like, no, man, don't do that, man. All right, I did promise real quick. We got 60 seconds. The original creator of Xbox is predicting, the Xbox co-creator, Xbox owned by Microsoft, is predicting that the new CEO is in place because Microsoft is planning to sunset the Xbox. Listen, we talked yesterday, Eli, about how much these games and these systems cost. They cost too much money. You have to put in your life savings just to have a game. I think Xbox might have won only one generation of video games. PlayStation and Nintendo has dominated over the last 20-some years. And the system that gave birth to Halo could be calling it quits.
Yeah, I kind of shocked, but also doubly, I got to be honest. I've kind of fallen out of the video game world, man. PlayStation was winning last time in my eyes, but I had a PlayStation 4, and then they lost me. But I think it's so crazy just to see, we're in the world of streaming and the world of virtual reality, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do, and right now people are just kind of getting active and doing stuff again, I guess, and so I don't know.
And the co-creator of Xbox said that he believes that the job of these people is to just gently usher all these business units into the new world of AI. So he believes that Microsoft is trying to work their way into 100% of an AI world, and that Xbox doesn't fit into those plans. And I think, and to your, and this is, I don't hate video games at all. It's just video games have passed me by. It's just a pass me by. In fact, every time I actually do play one of my old video games, whether it's the Nintendo 64, I also do have a PS4. I have MJF, the wrestler, the TNA, the AEW World Champion. When he did the chant, video games. Always have that in my system, thinking about that. All right, we are done. Tomorrow, we will react to the Cavs and Bucks. Will the Cavs actually pull off a W in a back-to-back, heading on the road against Milwaukee? We'll talk about that. Also, we got to get into this story. Peterson, one of the top prospects from Kansas. He's been missing a ton of time, and this is the tough part of we value mental health greatly, but then is there an intersect between taking too much of an advantage of that and perhaps costing yourself millions and millions of dollars and potentially losing out being the number one pick of the draft? You already missed several games. So we'll talk about that as well tomorrow. And I want to get on Kevin Durant, what he had to say about AAU, Team USA basketball. And I've kind of buried this the last couple of days, but does basketball belong into the Winter Olympics? The Winter Olympics. Yes, we can still talk a little bit Olympics, even though it just wrapped up a few days ago. So we got that. Tom Munkin, he's going to speak to the media tomorrow. We'll play some sound from that with the Combine. That gets underway. And also, we're going to have our very first guest on Midnight Run. That'll be next week, but we'll have our very first guest for that. Eli, great job. Thank you to everyone on TikTok. Thank you to everyone on the socials. Again, like, subscribe, follow us at Inside Edge Net. We're here with you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights at midnight. I'm Anthony Alford signing off. Have a great night. Talk to somebody about Jesus. And I know life can get crazy, especially at this time. Just things will be good. Things are going to be good. Handle it with precision and relax and have fun. And if nothing else, tune in and during this hour to at least relax you. All right. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.